Imagine walking onto a misty Yorkshire plain and seeing a ship's mast rising above an army. Not on a ship, but fixed upright in a wagon, draped with sacred banners and carrying the consecrated host. On the 22nd of August, 1138, that strange standard became the centre of one of the most important battles fought between medieval Scotland and England. The king advancing south was David I of Scotland. England had fallen into civil war after King Stephen seized the crown from his cousin, the Empress Matilda. David supported Matilda, who was also his niece, but family loyalty was only part of the story. The chaos offered Scotland a chance to extend its influence across northern England. David invaded 3 times in 1138. By August, his host had crossed the River Tees and was moving into Yorkshire. It was not one uniform army. It included Scots and Moravians, men from Lothian, Islanders, Cumbrians, archers, armoured knights, and fierce spearmen from Galloway. David had spent years introducing Anglo-Norman institutions to Scotland, yet he commanded forces drawn from very different military traditions. King Stephen was occupied in the south, so the defence of Yorkshire fell largely to local leaders. Thurstan, the elderly Archbishop of York, helped unite nobles who might otherwise have remained divided. Priests carried the banners of St. Peter of York, St. John of Beverley, and St. Wilfrid of Ripon. These were fixed to the mast on the wagon, creating a visible rallying point that turned the defence of the north into a sacred cause. The armies met on open, slightly rising ground north of Northallerton, probably near Brompton. Older retellings often name Cowton Moor, but the documentary evidence for that exact location is weak. The precise field remains debated. Most English knights dismounted and stood with spearmen around the wagon. Archers were placed among them, while the horses waited behind. This compact formation was designed to hold its ground.
Before the fighting, David's commanders argued over who should lead. The Galwegian spearmen claimed the honour. Contemporary descriptions are hostile and exaggerated, but the basic order is credible. The Galwegians formed the front line. Prince Henry commanded a second division that included mounted knights, and David held a reserve. The Galwegians charged. Their first impact drove into the English line, but the defenders held while arrows struck the attackers. Elsewhere, Prince Henry's mounted force broke through an English wing and reached the horses behind it. For a moment, the position around the standard was in real danger. But Henry's breakthrough was not supported. The English closed the gap, and confusion spread through the Scottish divisions. Men from Lothian began to give way. The Galwegians withdrew, and the retreat widened. David reportedly wanted to make a final stand, but his bodyguard got him back onto a horse and carried him from the field. Prince Henry later escaped and rejoined his father. The Battle of the Standard was an English victory, and David retreated toward Carlisle. Yet medieval victory was rarely the end of the political story. Within a year, diplomacy recognised David's son Henry as Earl of Northumberland. Scotland lost the field near Northallerton, but David's northern ambitions survived. Our fullest accounts were written by English churchmen, including Aelred of Rievaulx, who had once served at David's court. They preserve vivid detail, but they also shape the battle as a moral contest between order and chaos. Numbers, speeches, and dramatic claims must therefore be treated cautiously. What remains is an extraordinary image, a mast and wagon standing in a ring of dismounted warriors, sacred banners lifting above the dust. The standard did not win the battle by itself,
but it gave a hastily assembled army a place to stand, a symbol to defend, and a name history would remember.